Liftoff. Welcome everybody to our online essential oil class. It's such a pleasure to have all of you with us tonight, and Jade too.
Thank you.
Copaiba essential oil is the essential oil that we're talking about tonight. I just want to remind everybody out there who's listening to us, we actually have what did I say today? 115 podcast subscribers, as well as over 100 YouTube subscribers. So we know that there are a lot of people that are watching this after the fact, especially because it's in the middle of the day in Australia. And a lot of people are at work and they wanted to hear this. But I just want to remind you, everybody, that just before this class, we have a business training class as well on Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you want any help with doing doTERRA as a business, you can tune into that as well.
Yeah, and also sometimes we don't want to do the business necessarily, but we've got a lot of friends and family that want to buy oils or that are buying oils under us, and we can help you, because this last month we went through and we had about 20-something people that missed out on commission or missed out on the next rank because they didn't know.
Lots of opportunities. So, enough about that. Yeah. We'll talk about Copaiba.
Yep.
Copaiba sounds like a foreign language.
Alrighty, so we have a few friends here. Does anyone have experiences with Copaiba that you want to share? Yeah?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So once I had a sore back. Okay, it was a couple of days ago. And it actually really helped to reduce the pain after I put it on. It's pretty fast acting.
Awesome.
Anybody else have a story? My story is like not really.
Emma.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, Jade sent me some articles, like research over Copaiba, and it didn't take me long to look through the list when I saw something about endometriosis and a study that was done with rats and female adult rats with endometrial implants. And it was talking about how it's an inflammation problem. And I actually was diagnosed with endometriosis in 2015. And when I went to the doctor for severe pelvic pain, they basically told me, there's nothing we can do for it. We can prescribe you a birth control, which can help you to not have menstrual cycles, and that'll take the inflammation away. And when I was reading the article in the abstract, one thing it said was using the main chemical that's in Copaiba and being able to relieve, the symptoms of it without affecting fertility. And, it's interesting because their solution was to give me birth control, which is obviously going to affect fertility. And so that was really interesting. Kind of thinking that was their only solution, and that was the whole point of the study, was finding another way to treat it and to help the symptoms of endometriosis.
Excellent. Wow, thank you for sharing. Glad you read that. Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And I haven't used Copaiba, but now I have an even greater necessity for it.
Yeah, fantastic. How exciting.
Can I just say, or maybe you're going to get into it. So Copaiba, doTERRA didn't carry Copaiba up until a few months ago. And things that Dr. Hill was saying about it, and Jay's going to get into it, I'm sure. Everybody's really excited, and the results that people were receiving were fantastic. And doTERRA had projected how much the Copaiba they would need for the whole year. And they basically went through all of that within the first month and a half. And so we're limited right now as how much it's like limited one per account per month for now, until they are able to get the supplies back up and going. So it's been fantastic. A lot of people have had lots of phenomenal
within the first
experiences
week.
With them. So.
We had a flooding of stories, and we have just people telling us a lot. It's a lot about inflammation and their pains, but other things too. So I contacted a few of them to have them come to our call and share their story, but they can't make it.
December is a hard
It's Christmas. I mean, I just got back from the concert, my daughter's concert just now.
So we're going to share their stories for them.
Yeah, and you just have to take my word
We're
on
going
it.
to dress up as different people and share their stories.
You sound girly enough.
So I have an experience with Copaiba.
Yes, Des.
This past weekend, I came down with a really bad cold. And when I get really congested, like, it gives me a headache. And I have never been able to find the oil that helps me with headaches. And so a lot of people, peppermint works really well for them, or deep blue, or the past tense. But none of that seems to work for me when I get my headaches. And so I've started taking the Copaiba 1 drop underneath of my tongue whenever I get that tension starting. And it's completely taken it away within literally 10 seconds. It's just like released. It's amazing.
Oh,
that's amazing. That's really good.
Yeah, that'll be good for you.
Yeah.
Ben hasn't found something.
Yeah. It's hard for me to get rid of some of my headaches. I get headaches like when I don't eat and drink. I understand if you don't do that for a while, you die. But it's been hard for me to find something to relieve my headache. So thanks, Des. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to talk about that too. Anyone else that's tried Copaiba? I know that my sister Jamie, she's on here, but she used a whole bottle of Copaiba on my dad when he was recovering. So, that would really help him. Unfortunately, it was really hard for us to get more Copaiba to send to him. Yeah. So, alrighty. I'm going to just go through this here. And please, if you have questions or comments, just jump in. There is a lot of information tonight, so hold on to your horses. Okay, so inflammation is one of the main things, yes. And, I just feel like because it's so powerful against environmental threats and, all of these fungus and environmental threats in our bodies cause our body to have inflammation, but also stress causes inflammation too. So pain, bruises, muscles, and cramps. I just want to make it simple for you, but I can make a whole long list of the things that Copaiba can do. It's overwhelming. It's so much, but I just make it so that you can have a easy way of just remembering what it does. Okay, the central nervous system. Okay, anything that you think of that's related to the central nervous system, use Copaiba for that. So think about the health problems that we have different names for, but is connected to the central nervous system. So skin, hair, nails, tissues. Okay, so anything to do with the skin. I'm going to list out a few things, but I went through about 50 studies in the last few days. It's just a lot.
Wow, thanks for Jade doing that because I don't have to do that.
I do a lot of research for all the other oils, and sometimes I'm thinking, they say the same thing, so I'm just going to, write it down. But here is just wow. So skin, hair, nails, and tissues, so inside your body and outside your body, gut and intestinal support, cellular response, amazing, respiratory and throat, and calming the head and heart. The head, I just didn't have enough room. Head, like what Desiree was saying, and the heart for blood pressure. Okay, so that is it in a nutshell. If you think of the saying, when in doubt, use frankincense, well, now use frankincense and Copaiba. Okay, that's how I would do it. Right? If you just don't know for sure, just use Copaiba because it's an oil that you can take internally. It's an oil you can take, you can rub on and smell. So it's good for all of that. So we had a few questions lately about what Copaiba is, where it's from. And so just so you know, it's from a tree, and from Copaiba trees. There's a special scientific name for it. But it's found in the Amazon, and what they do is they just, poke a hole in it and then let the resin ooze out, kind of like in that picture that you can see. For people that are listening, I'm trying to describe it to you. And then they hang like a bucket or so. And this is in the deep jungles of the Amazon, and it's very difficult to get to, okay? And doTERRA has found some awesome people to trust with this commodity, and of course doTERRA is helping them too, so it's this synergistic relationship, which is fantastic. But they have to get there by boat, so it's not easy to take Copaiba. So it's not the dearest oil, but it's not super cheap either. Now, so you know, the excitement about Copaiba is because it has the cannabinoids, okay? So in doTERRA, we have wonderful conferences and conventions that teach us about this, and there's tons of information that will teach you more. But there's these 3 types of cannabinoids that we can find in plants. So it's CBD, THC, and BCP. Never mind the acronyms, but what we have here is a cannabinoid that is very safe and very powerful. So when people think of cannabinoids, a lot of people think, oh, marijuana and hemp. They think that's synonymous with that, but it's not true. Cannabinoids can be found in plants other than marijuana and hemp. And in fact, the level of the cannabinoids in Copaiba is a lot higher than a lot of these other, oils out there that people are raving about. Okay, so we have
like marijuana.
Yeah. The CBD. BCP. In this is the. I'm going to say it right. Sorry, guys. BCP that we have in abundance of in the Copaiba. It's very, very, very little in marijuana. Do you know that? So, I mean, it's
the good stuff.
It's the good stuff. So, I mean, they find something great and they tell you all about it, but you need a lot to do the work that you want it to do. And, we mentioned that because we have a friend that actually her son used the marijuana for that reason, because he needed help with all this, and they wanted the CB2 receptor help. And, what he did with the marijuana just didn't help as much, and it damaged him more. So he actually started using the Copaiba, frankincense, sandalwood, which I suggested. And then they did a scan, did they? And then it all came up, all those oils came up. But he's had seizures for every week since he was 12, and he's 28 or so now, and it's been about a month. He's been seizure-free. So that's amazing. He's, the oils help us clear out the toxins.
Thinking clearly and everything.
In our body, helps the cells communicate. Really what we're doing here is just cleaning out cells to encourage cellular communication. When our cells communicate well, we are healthy, we are well. When we've got, invaders, parasites, fungus, we've got toxins, heavy metals, and, other poisons in our body, there's miscommunication. And there's a, communication breakdown, cells break down, and just malfunction. So it's amazing to see this man, come back. And the mom said that he's back. We've got him back. He's speaking. He remembers things. And
just imagine, as they progress with essential oils and able to overcome those difficulties with seizures and stuff like that, it would mean a world of difference to that person's life.
I am just today I've been so excited about this oil. I just couldn't wait to get on this call and tell you everything. So you guys, this makes my heart just so excited. So Copaiba, let's go back up here and talk about. It's derived from the resin, okay, and it's steam distilled from the bark. And it's from the Amazon, so it's about Central America to South America. And these trees grow to about 100 feet. And for other people that are not in US. It's 30 meters, because I had no idea. Sometimes I'm thinking, how much is that? About 30 meters. Is very tall, and it's a blend of 4 different types of Copaibas. Okay, it just means more bang for you, because it does similar things, but it's different at the same time. And
the cool thing is, doTERRA is very transparent about this.
Yeah.
Some essential oil companies, like, they'll just throw in whatever, but doTERRA clearly says what this.
Yeah. I'm not going to read it because I can't read that. It's just the scientific names of all the different types and species of Copaiba. But so you know that there's a blend, just like our frankincense, there's a blend, and I think that's even better. They just have that synergy, and it's just more power for you. It's been used in cosmetics and soaps and lotions and perfumes for a long time. It's used for newborn babies. The resins were used for babies, and then it's used on wounds of soldiers. So they've used these oils for a long time. And you can see all the little numbers on my post there. They're all the links to the different research. I put like maybe a fraction of the research that I read, because some of them have the same results and things, and I just thought I'll just keep it simple and short. Okay. Copaiba is compared to black pepper. So they're saying that it's very similar in many ways. So if you know how to use black pepper, then you have a good idea of how Copaiba works too. Okay, so lots of the same benefits. Okay, so with anxious feelings, and it helps with cleansing the skin. It helps the skin more with the cleansing side, getting rid of the environmental threats than necessarily matrix of skin tissues, but it does that too, sort of. Okay, so in general, cardiovascular. So if you don't know your disease well, because I've had a lot of friends that come up to me with a disease name, and they just feel so depressed and sad. And I said, oh, that's just it's a cardiovascular problem, and they think, oh, really? It's just. So research your disease, guys. Immune concern, digestive, gastrointestinal tract, colon, urinary, nervous system, and respiratory system. Okay, so if we have any health problems that fall under those categories, you know that you can use this for it. Okay, just connect the dots. So Copaiba contains cannabinoids, but it doesn't have that psychoactive cannabinoid that people imagine in cannabinoids. Okay, that high, we don't need it. We don't have that. So it's just the good stuff and none of the bad. So, anyways, so we call that cannabinoid that is in Copaiba beta carotene. I think I'm saying it right. I've heard a few times. I'm still working on it. So let's just say BCP. Yeah. Okay. So BCP helps with it influences your CB2, which is, if you see on the picture here, CB2 receptors is the endocrine system and the immune system. It does help the brain too, but not in the same way that the CB1 receptors affect that brain. So none of the drug high. Okay. Alrighty. Mostly when it helps with the brains, it helps us calm the inflammation down, and then it helps our brains calm down in that way too, sort of a second-hand effect. So for those people who want to know a little bit about the cannabinoids, the 3 different types, I have a chart here. I just copied it from Convention. My photo was like a little warped. I had to remake it. But basically it has no interaction with the CB1. It has the same benefits as other cannabinoids, so if you look up research about cannabinoids and all the things it can do, it same benefits, and it affects directly the CB2, and we have therapeutic amounts. So like I said earlier, that people get really excited about cannabinoids in certain sources, from certain sources, but really in reality it's very, very small. Yeah, so one research I read, I'm like, it says a BCP level in that one, not doTERRA oils or anything, it was 0.55. And I'm thinking, wow, that's hardly anything. But with oils in doTERRA, you can see here, like the Copaiba is 52%, and they're being very modest here. If you look at in other resource books, the numbers are even higher. Black pepper's 21%. Okay, so you imagine half of the chemicals in Copaiba is the cannabinoids. So that's really exciting. We have the cannabinoids in melissa, ylang-ylang, clove, helichrysum, and juniper berry. And actually,
those are some powerful oils.
Rosemary actually has it too, some. But I just give you the top ones, okay? So let's see, where are we? Oh, anyone want to say anything or add anything to this? Oh, that's okay, that's fine.
Anybody want to have a better way to pronounce these? Beta-carotene,
yeah.
tetrahydrocannabinol oil.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so just so we know that just CB2 will help with receptors to help us calm, relax. It helps our bodies deal with a lot of things like the immune, the inflammatory, memory, and appetite, and so much more. Okay, the other good thing about Copaiba is it's a very powerful antioxidant, has high levels of antioxidants. So that's good. I mean, that's like clove. Okay. Now, the thing that people get really excited about is because it does so much. When people hear, oh, cannabinoid, they think it's the magic pill, the magic bullet, and that can do everything and anything. And I love when Dr. Heal says that this oil is amazing, but there's nothing out there that will do everything to relieve everything. To be honest, I feel deep down inside that, like him, nothing will do that, because we have to live life more proactively. When people get excited, they think, oh, if I'm just passive, I'll take these oils, it's going to fix me. So they may be disappointed. It does a lot of things, though. I mean, we hear the stories that people text us all the time, how wonderful it is. But still, there's nothing that will replace your ability to choose. So our mental powers can allow our body to accept medicines, food, or whatever it is, the nutrients, or not. It's really interesting. Even though you can feed yourself great healthy stuff, your body still can reject it. And you've seen people say, well, I take a lot of things, supplements, and I'm still deficient in this. It's because they refuse to nourish their body and mentally with love, friendship, self-acceptance, and stuff like that. Okay. Anyone want to say anything, add to this? Or you have stories, if you have like experiences.
Yeah, for those of you that have just joined us, if you've had Copaiba and have had stories, I see Debbie and a few others. What Copaiba stories do you have? I think she's frozen.
Oh, no, she's not.
Okay, I'll move on.
Yeah, if you guys have stories, please share.
I think the stories are...
I have a story.
Yes, okay. Please, Jamie.
Yeah, so when Dad had that really serious wound on his hand and arm, because they cut off most of his flesh on his right hand, it was a really horrific wound. So it's like you wouldn't have been able to stomach how it looked like just after the surgery. But after the hospital allowed us to go home and rebandage it every day, I would sort of sneak in some oils, when, after the nurses would go home, I would mix Copaiba with rose oil and manuka oil as well, and I would mix it with coconut oil and spray it on his wound. So we didn't want to touch it because it was pretty much a very big open wound. Yes. But within like a week, within 2 weeks, I'd say, it healed really, really fast. So when we went back to the hospital for his next visit, the doctors were really surprised at how fast his wound was healing. So it was closed up and everything. Like there was no open flesh basically. So it healed really, really fast. And I'd say it's because of the oils, and also it's also very nourishing for the skin and moisturizing as well. Yeah. So I'm thankful that we got Copaiba just in time, and it just came out that month. So, and also rose too. So it was pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a really good
plan.
plan.
We had connections in the States and sent Jamie the convention kit.
Yeah, so actually I got that kit just in time before we were allowed to buy it singularly.
Yeah. And actually, I heard a rumor, if you can look, honey, about the promotion for Copaiba for Aussies. Did you hear about that? It came out today. There's a promotion on Facebook or something. So we'll find out, because I know the Aussies missed out. There was that big excitement with Copaiba and Rose and everything in the US, and the Aussies was just, what about us? We want that too. And so I think they're making it up to you guys. So
well, we can, either way, we can still buy it from the States.
Yeah.
You just have to pay for a little bit extra.
Yeah. Awesome.
If you want it, you just get it. It's all about what's your priority.
Yeah, that's right.
True. That's a good attitude.
Yeah, instead of whining about, I can't get it in Australia. That's good.
That's a good story, Jamie.
Like I just why don't we just use the points for a bottle of Copaiba or a bottle of Rose? Like it costs a lot, but put back that bottle of lavender. Like you can get that any day.
Yeah, that's right. So, I like using the points when I was in Australia to just get stuff from America. Yeah, because you pay less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So here's a list of benefits. Helps with liver. It's an antioxidant. Helps with cardiovascular, helps with immune, digestive, neurological function, and respiratory. Okay, so let's go on to the body.
Well, any other stories?
Oh, yeah.
I'll just share some stories. I don't have a personal experience per se, because I initially gave all mine away. And so I'm just now getting caught up on Copaiba, but it's under my tongue tonight. And with frankincense, and I will start using it daily. But I have my niece who had severe menstrual discomfort every month with her cycles. And she posted on my page that overnight that changed, and she had never found anything that really worked well for her. And she was really, really grateful for the Copaiba oil overnight. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of Facebook stories that I've been watching with tremendous results of Copaiba. So I'm grateful now to hang on to one myself and start using it more regularly.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And Debbie, you said you put it under your tongue, and that's another thing about Copaiba. It's good for internal use as well.
Yeah. When you're looking at all the system benefits, it just makes sense to take it internally.
Yeah, it's your whole body. Oh, it's so exciting. I think if, you look at people and they're suffering, and now we have something that's so powerful that we can help people with. How do you hold back? You can't.
So we've had a lot of people find pain relief from this. One gentleman we went and spoke to,
Jim.
Yeah, he had a sore back, and he had all sorts of measures that he's gone to support his back.
For years and years.
And just while we were talking to him, he had a support back, was in pain. We gave him some Copaiba, and just within a few minutes, felt the difference and asked for more samples.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really good. So like Debbie was saying, look at all the systems it helps. So this is a systemic support. Take 1 to 2 drops of Copaiba with water or just straight under your tongue to help all these systems, digestive, nervous, respiratory. Okay. All right. Then the cellular health. So this is an oil that Dr. Heal recommends that we take daily. Okay, so cellular health. So another way of understanding this is thinking about what are cellular health problems. Okay, so think about the word cancer. All right, it's a health problem where the cells are mutating and mutated, and it's duplicating wrong. So Copaiba and oils in the DDR prime will help support the body in renewing and helping the cells grow and repair. Okay, so that is something really powerful. And so how many people do you know, just in your circle of influence that might need this, right? So anyways, it's awesome. Okay, so gut and organ cleansing. So it's great for the liver. There's research for that. But it's also great for the other organs too, and especially the gut. I read a research on colitis and Crohn's, on all sorts of things, just as simple as indigestion, or what else did I read? Anything that we could think about that is in the gut. So that is kind of a really amazing oil. I thought to myself, it sounds like it's a frankincense as well. So it helps with the gut. So take that internally, okay? If we have a problem like that, I'd start with a couple of drops, and then I'll go up to maybe 3 or 4 drops, and then just do it every 3-4 hours. Because the oils can be eliminated out of your system within 4 to 6 hours. So you want to just keep it up, okay? So friends that have any sort of gut concerns. But the other thing too that is it helps you from 2 angles. It helps with feeling calmer and more relaxed, which will help with the gut, because anytime we're stressed or we're anxious, we affect our gut health. So it helps from that direction too.
Musical chairs.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to add anything? Say anything? Okay. Nervous system. Again, think of what is related to nervous system. Even people who don't have a good connection with the rest of their body, children, people that are really stressed, they're in their head a lot, it helps to help connect the mind and the body. So I would add Siberian fir, frankincense, patchouli with my Copaiba and rub it up and down the spine. Your body gives you a lot of information, okay, to help you make good decisions and make your decisions faster. But when you're in your mind too much, sometimes I think you're tempted to overthink, and when you overthink, sometimes you overshoot, So I was talking to my daughter, a very smart little girl, straight A kid, and she says, "Oh, I shouldn't have overthought because I got the right answer first, and then I thought, oh, there's other possibility." And it's like us too. But sometimes if you follow your gut, follow your heart, just go. Okay, so that really helps. Now, the skin health I mentioned earlier. Skin as in hair, the skin on your head, skin on your hands, even your nails, all sorts of skin problems. So you've got toenail fungus issues or itchy skin. You know, it's just amazing. I read lots and lots of different skin concerns, and I'm thinking anything under the umbrella of skin, consider adding Copaiba to your blend. Fractionated coconut oil always helps the oil stay on the skin longer, so just do that. But the secret is just do it consistently. For bigger problems, you might not see the change immediately, but if you do it consistently, and like my sister, she puts it in a spritzer bottle and then just spritz it on. Okay, oils that are great for skin. You've got rose, frankincense, sandalwood, lavender, of course. Those are great for skin, and always I like to mix oils because you just get more power in that. All right, Dr. Hill said this, and I thought I'll just copy this directly and then read it to you guys. There is evidence to suggest that topical application of Copaiba may have biological activity in supporting health at a cellular level and in tissue remodeling. So I don't know about you, but to me it looks like just helping with the tissue repair, right? And remodeling, what does that mean?
So I'm guessing that's a very nice way of saying maybe like scars or tissues and those sorts of things. So just think about those sorts of issues. And Jamie gave a really good example of that with.
Yeah, it was raw. I mean, they took photos and sent
like plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery.
Always worse.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've heard stories about people healing from past, wounds and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's the amazing thing with very, very pure essential oils and highly therapeutic oils like the ones in doTERRA. You get miracle stories like that. I mean, it's hard to believe sometimes, but our body heals funny sometimes, and the oils are intelligent. It goes in there and it kind of takes things apart and puts it back together again. And even though you've had this problem for maybe 30 years, like my friend with her knee, it healed funny, and the oils went in there and redid it all. Just amazing. So you never know. Okay, so teeth and gum. There's research that helps with that. To put Copaiba on your On Guard toothpaste maybe, and it'll help strengthen your teeth and your gums, okay? Because that's tissue, skin, and then it's also cleansing, right? Muscles and aches. Okay, so I have a really good blend here for you. 6 drops of frankincense, 6 drops of marjoram or oregano, and 6 drops of lemongrass, and then 2 drops of Copaiba. You can add more Copaiba if you like. But you can mix that up and in a roller bottle, or just if it's like your whole body, something's happened, then take it internally. So I had a friend, her son had brain surgery. And when he came home, he just used oils and sort of this blend, and didn't need to take any of the meds that he was given. So I'm thinking that's amazing. Okay, so menstrual cramps, we talked about that too earlier. They had the research on that. So it basically helps with spasms and circulation. So just rub it on your abs. So Debbie and we have, I don't know if you're still on, Emma. Yep, Emma's here. Yep, telling stories about that. A lot of people have problems with endometriosis because of all the toxins, the xenoestrogens in our environment, in our food. So how exciting is that to know that you have something for your friends? Yeah. And I know that the oils are not just going to go in there and manage your symptoms. It's going to go in there and do extra work and repairing cells and, everything at the cellular level so that your body functions properly.
If you think about this, the plants have manufactured these compounds and everything so they could repair.
Yeah.
They could, recover and
Uh-huh.
and deal with all these issues for plants, and this is.
And
what we're using
remember
for.
where it's from. It's like the deep Amazon forest. So, think about how strong and powerful these oils must be to survive, to grow that big. And like I said, it's deep in there that those people that are taking these oils, they have to go row a boat and go there, but maybe they don't have to row. They'll have better boats, but they have to go by boat to access the oils. So that's awesome. All right, and our friend Desiree, she nailed it. It's head and neck tension. Okay, put it on your forehead, your temples, take it in a capsule. Okay, that's something that we're excited to try for Benjamin. Okay, so it's not just a little tension, huh? It's one of those big guns that you could,
And sometimes people will have a head tension, headache, or whatever, and they try one thing or another. This is another
thing
that they can try. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, most of the time, frankincense works for me, but
it's hard to find something.
Yeah, we haven't found anything, so this is exciting. And Desiree shared that story, so that's awesome to hear. Yep. Okay, anyone want to say anything? And
any questions or anything else about Copaiba that maybe we need to add to this list? Or excellent.
It's pretty awesome. Yep. When in doubt, use Copaiba and frankincense. All right. Let's go to the mind.
If you don't mind.
All right. So Copaiba, like I said, it's similar to the oil black pepper, right? So black pepper is the oil of unmasking, and Copaiba is the oil of unveiling. Similar things. Okay, it helps remove negative emotions such as shameful, guilty, regret, self-loathing, less than, unworthy, suppressed emotions, and rebelling. If you feel any of these feelings, it'll be a good idea for you to smell it, use it, and just help yourself remove these feelings. Okay. The positive emotion is patient, empathetic, kind, tolerant, fidelity, calm, intimate, sexual desire, resilient, cooperative, and committed. So unveiling isn't so we can see all our weaknesses and the awful things about ourselves. Okay, it's about allowing us to find opportunities to change. Okay, because that's what we're afraid of sometimes when we help. We're trying to help other people. Pointing out people's weaknesses, you feel nervous because you're thinking they're going to just feel bad, and really they don't want to see it. But it just helps you feel more relaxed and calm about seeing your weaknesses and then allowing yourself to change. Okay, so we could recognize our human weaknesses, and then when we do that, it's gonna give us a chance to rethink things. Okay, so when we do see ourselves, then we feel like we're not as bad as we think. Okay, and it helps us really get down to the false beliefs and promptly change. When we change the mind, we change the outcome very quickly. So some of the things that I thought about, because I help a lot of people, and we're all like that. I'm like that too. And then you have layers that you peel off, and then you get more layers after you figured some things out. You get more. So anyways, some of the false beliefs that it helps us reveal, okay, is that I am important when I am busy or stressed. So I see that in a lot of our friends, and sometimes we get so stressed and we tell everyone we're stressed, and maybe it's because we feel like we need to be stressed so that we look important. I read a book lately, and it was this guy. He said that sometimes people feel ashamed if they have nothing to do or if they're happy. You know, it's something that they should be ashamed about, because, you know, you're supposed to be diligently busy or working. So that is a false belief. Okay, so we're here to find happiness. Happiness doesn't mean idleness. So, you know, and the need to feel needed. Okay, and then we feel so tired and so drained because everybody's taking a piece of us. That there's just this weird false belief that we need others to need us. And the other one is control. Controlling. We just don't want to let go of control and let the God or universe or divine power to help us out and to help us guide us. There's feelings of jealousy or lack of, jealousy of rich people, successful people, happy people, and, thinking that other people have a secret that I don't. And then there's a need to be poor or sick or troubled, because that makes us important. That attracts a lot of attention for us. So all of that actually boils down to just a few things. It's about the lack of self-awareness and self-love, okay? And so when we use oils like Copaiba, it kind of unveils and helps us really see that basically all these excuses is just a lack of self-love and self-respect, okay? What do you guys think?
So interesting, Jade. Thank you for putting this all together.
You see these things in other people, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see it in ourselves too once in a while.
People, like feeling stressed or need to be needed or stuff like that. One
lady's been trying to get a hold of me or trying to get together with me for a couple of weeks already. And every time she says she wants to get together, and she's all of these things happen. And she's like, oh, I'm so busy. Maybe she'll at the beginning of the year. She wants to heal. She wants to be better. And she's dying to get more oils, whatever, but she just can't. It's like a self-sabotage. Yeah. And I'm like,
that could be it too, yeah.
I'm here. Yeah. Oh, Christmas is a busy season. I'm like, well, not always. Yeah. So.
And people
I just would like to say, I see that sometimes too when you're trying to talk to people about the oils and they say, oh, sounds great. I want to try. I want to get with you. I don't know how many meetings I had to reschedule a couple of times with people and stuff. And it's like, you think sometimes, do they really want to get better?
Yeah. But
and
I believe that they do.
I take care of sick people who wear their illness on their sleeves, like it's, a reward or something. And I'm like,
and it's just they don't recognize that false belief. It's like, I'm so frustrated. I want to, but this happened, that happened.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's something that we all have to work through. And so we invite them to work through that. But so blessed. We are so blessed to have these oils. And especially frankincense this month, and especially the Copaiba. It's just
I would also like to add, Jade and Ben, that even the teachings, with like you guys and my other sponsors and stuff, the teaching about you have to be self-aware, and that, like you was, talking about all of these little like hidden agendas we have, the self-sabotaging and all that. You have to be made aware of that, because a lot of people, like you said, like I was saying before, they're wearing their illness, on their sleeves like it's some kind of reward, but deep inside, I know they don't want to be sick. They don't want to really go through this, but it's like such a struggle to try and get them out of that, mindset. It's really about the mind, and wanting, really having that strong desire that, listen, I got to do something. I don't know at what point we all reach that, but it's just, it's interesting, and sometimes it's,
Yeah, I love it because, they don't know why they do that, right? And this is what helps. It's just unveiling and really being honest with yourself and then realizing, oh, I actually have that need. I really have that need to do this. And it's a subconscious need, but I also have a need to be well, but then I also have a need to be important. So your body's just doing this conflicting argument, you see. But when you're honest with yourself and your eyes are open, right, that's the unveiling, right? Then you can see it clearly. Then you can make a decision and choice, and that's when life changes for you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I like these oils, because it doesn't just manage your back pain. It helps you back yourself up now. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not backing myself up because I'm so conflicted, right? And now I decide, right, once and for all, I don't need to be important because of, busyness. I'm going to be well, and this is what I'm going to focus on. When we're not clear.
You sound a lot like Mum.
Yeah.
You sound a lot like Mum.
Yeah.
She needs to be needed, and she does wear it like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people give her attention. I don't know if she does it because she wants attention, but it's like a catch-22. It's like, I don't want to be sick, but then I like being sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't want all these problems. I always have problems. I've got this problem and then that other issue and this other issue, and everyone's giving them attention because it shows like we love them, kind of thing. It's like, oh, look, so many people love me because I'm sick.
Yeah.
And
they like that.
I don't know. It's hard to get out of that headspace, because do you really want to be well, or do you want all that attention because you don't feel like you're worth much without that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really good, because it actually leads us to the next part, Jamie. Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about the spirit, because we have to dig deeper to realize the truth, and it's super simple. And then after that, we can build up again. So Copaiba, if you think about it in a spiritual, emotional way, helps you rebuild yourself from the ground up. So it's going to be messy. I used Copaiba a lot this week, and I had some days where it broke down, and Ben broke down too. Okay, not just me. So we kind of helped ourselves, just be honest, and how can I be better, and all these things. So it was awesome. So we rebuild from the ground up, and that means you have to kind of take out all this rubbish and then face it yourself. And when you honor yourself, and you actually can be kind to yourself too, and reestablish this healthy self-love and healthy self-awareness, healthy self-respect, then you can put all that on the table, and then look back and find patterns in your life and find behaviors that results in the life that you have presently. So if your life is not ideal presently, then look at what has led to that, and really be honest. Don't allow yourself to blame anything, okay? And then, when you have those eyes to see, you can recognize the areas to change, because basically you want to be happy, all right? That's your goal, because happiness attracts more happy, all right? And when we're happy, we're more creative, we're more productive, and we're more successful, okay? So I feel like it's about going back to understanding that you're a child of God, okay? And clearing out all the debris can help you see that you actually are this wonderful, beautiful person inside, all right? And being a child of God, you're loved, you've got great power within, that you're enough, that you have purpose. And that's what a lot of people miss. They don't know their life's purpose. So whatever comes their way, that attention suddenly because I'm sick, ooh, okay, then they get more of that because they're not clear on what they want, okay? And then, the other thing is that we're protected. Some of us are fearful of facing ourselves, of looking at our weaknesses, because we feel so vulnerable. But when you really see that you're this wonderful child of God, that you're protected, you no longer fear that, okay? And one thing that stops people from really seeing their truth about how they didn't own their power is blame. Blaming gives away our power. People can blame health, they can blame weight, they can blame spouse, their kids, their situation, lack of time, or finances, whatever it is that they're blaming, instead of really sitting down and saying, wait a sec, this has gone on long enough. Okay, what am I doing? You know, dig deeper. Okay, and it really helps, and you can do that. Don't think that it's complicated. You know, write down some of the concerns, and then that way we stop running. Okay, and we really face that issue. So unveiling, just believe that God didn't make rubbish. All right, you're not rubbish. So if you think of all the rubbish thoughts about yourself, then all of that's not true. Okay, and so, you know, allow yourself to, you know, identify stuff that you can work on. Okay, I just feel so blessed, because it is uncomfortable to do this, and we did this week actually, but you'll find this happiness, and the happiness is a sense of peace and a sense of fulfillment. And I tell you, I have a few friends that think that when you check a box, that's happy. It's just very short-lived. And they think, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so fulfilled. I'm thinking, I don't know if you know what happiness is. You don't look happy, your whole life isn't that happy. So come on, you dig deeper and help yourself out. Because don't settle for that. That's what I'm saying, don't settle for that. Okay, so happiness is a sense of great peace and deep fulfillment. It's a connection to people, to teams, to groups, okay? Feeling super supported, super loved, no matter where you are, what you're doing, okay? So this is like a deep house cleaning of your mind and your body oil, okay? So the last bit I want to share about Copaiba is just another way of understanding it. It gives you divine clarity. So it gives you the wisdom beyond your mortal perceptions of, you know, of really seeing, like foreseeing the potential in you, and understanding your purpose. There's a lot of ways to serve humanity, but if you know who you are, you can serve in your own way and be okay with not doing it like everyone else, okay? And that way, you're a good servant, you're a good steward, okay? So just because people tell you this is how you do it, this is how you do it, this is how you do it, you're doing everything, you're still not going to be happy, okay? Unless you follow that path. And great people like Mother Teresa, I think Christina Noble, you just feel that and you just focus on that specialty that you're good at. That means you're honoring your gifts and talents, yeah, and you don't allow yourself to be distracted, okay? And that's it. It's divine clarity of Copaiba. It's a big oil emotionally, physically, and that's why emotionally it's a big oil too. All right, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think?
I think
I'm going to drink it every day.
It's a good oil. Man. I have used this a few times, like, 2 drops, 2 drops, 2 or 3 drops under the tongue, but I haven't been consistent, and I'm using it in conjunction with other things. So I don't think I would notice offhand any strange things, because I can have rosemary, in my tea, or ginger and lemon every morning. So I'm doing different oils, and I heard that this was a good oil to use. And I got a chance to go to the conference when Dr. Hill came to New York. So I was able to, actually get the Copaiba, and I've been using it. But, a few drops here and there underneath the tongue before I go to bed, sometimes in the morning. So I can't say that I really noticed any changes off the bat, but the one key thing that you guys talked about tonight about not blaming anybody and realizing, you know, that certain things you do may lead up to, you know, whatever. I feel that I've been dealing with that lately. So I made that connection with it. And I do believe, even though I might not actually be noticing the changes, that I believe that this oil is working for my body. Because I've got a lot of positive feedback about Copaiba oil. So that urged me, you know, to go ahead and try it. But I just made that connection because, yeah, I've been, I guess, dealing with something lately, and I realized, yeah, sometimes you can't blame the people. You have to take responsibility for yourself, your actions, and how you deal with things. And I've been coming to that realization. I just have to say, side note there.
You know, we have to put our big girl pants on now.
That's right.
Yeah, I hear you. Also,
Thank
anybody else?
I'm going to try and use this on my scars. So, watch this space.
Watch this face. Watch this face too. All right.
The appearance of skin blemishes.
Yes, Ben's going to use it for.
Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah. All right, excellent. Anybody else? Anything new that you learned today? Yeah.
Lots of new stuff on the emotions and spiritual benefits. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say about the emotions and the emotions and essential oil book. I was reading the beginning of it, and it was talking about, I believe it was in that book, but it was comparing like essential oils with like a plant growing, or no, I think it was weeding plants. This might have been from somewhere else that I read this, and it was basically talking about essential oils as like being the water to help a plant grow, and like in you were saying about the Dr. Hill, and that we have to be responsible for our health and going to fix everything passively. They're just going to aid us, but we have to be responsible for our health. So that's something that I've been kind of learning recently, and it was in the tonight we read that too. So
Thank you.
Rebecca Beck Tang was saying, daughter has epilepsy, so she plans on using it. She's been using it every day as she's weaning off the medication. That's really fantastic. Epilepsy, was the other seizures, cognitive things. We've been hearing stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Nervous system. That's the system that would be charging.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I was just waiting to pieces.
All right.
That's great. Thank you guys for joining us and sharing your stories. I love hearing stories because the people that listen to these recordings, they tell us that they like the stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we want to make sure we thank everybody. We just checking the stats today. There's 115 people who listen in on the podcast, or they're subscribed to the podcast anyways. And
wow.
Stuff, so we appreciate everybody bringing their stories, because absolutely, Jay's done a lot of work here, but the stories is what really brings it home to people, and makes that, all the application for this, because people can see that happening in their lives. So thank you everybody for sharing your stories.
Go ahead and share Copaiba with everyone you know, guys,
and everyone you don't know. I'm just saying.
Tell them how to get their own account, because you can only buy one per month.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys take care.
Okay, we're going to stop the recording and be here for questions.
You.
Thank you.